Kathleen Letitia O'Connor, I was born, and I was always called Kate by my family. Abroad, I always be called Kathleen, you see, so I got used to that afterwards, not having been called Kate. I always did want to be an artist, you see, from the beginning, I think. You know, tried to paint and tried to draw ever since I was quite young. So, of course, when I got to Paris, I was full of, well, you couldn't help learning. You see, you just learned without any trouble at all. Everything you saw taught you something. At that time, all the big French impressionists were still alive, you see, when I got there. I was very much influenced by the French school. And that's what they say in this exhibition, that I go back to, I really am not what you call a very, very modern painter. I'm not an abstract painter at all. I'm on really and truly, I've been influenced by the French impressionists. And although I've done things in a perhaps more modern way, I've used a palette knife a lot, and I've been very free with what I do, see, but I still get the impression of something, and not entirely I see it from an impressionist point of view, everything, you see. I think that I really and truly soaked myself in art and artists and that kind of thing, and I find it very difficult talking about anything else. I'm afraid I'm a little bit an egoist in that way, that I'm rather bored with most conversation, you see, because most people avoid things that I'd like to talk about. People don't want you to talk too much about what you know. They want you to be interested in 101 other things. And I suppose artists are up that way, you see, especially in Paris where you meet artists. Well, they're always, we're talking shop all the time. Well, I don't paint things out of my head. My impression of something is what I see. Nearly always what I see I paint. I don't pretend to make things up out of my head. No, I don't think I do that. I've always had a feeling that I wanted to do something that I could see, but in my own way, you see. That's why I was so much influenced by the French impressionists, because I felt a feeling that they were trying to get the impression they saw too. I didn't copy them at all, but I just was influenced by them, that was all. And I've always been, ever since, really, I always had a feeling that I've always been influenced by that school. All great masters, all of them. The French are the greatest painters, I think. Well, the things I painted out of doors in Paris, I couldn't possibly paint them twice just as I saw them that day, because the people never came again. I mean, just sketches of people, nursemaids and babies and all those sort of things. They never came again, those same people. They never made the same groups twice, you see. But I think that I don't care for very quick portraits of people. I'm not quite satisfied with very few sittings. I like a lot of sittings. Some people think it's much cleverer to do things quickly, but I don't always feel like that about it, you see. And what you see in the people themselves, what you get out of the people when you're talking to them, you know, how you feel about it. Well, I draw it all in first. Before I start to paint it, was I make a charcoal sketch of the thing and make a regular study out of it before I start painting it. So I don't do painting straight off. I'd make a good sketch of the person first, and the proportions and everything. Well, I knew most of the French artists, and I knew the Seconzac, I knew Fusilta, I saw Modigliani and all these things in cafes and things, and all the ones that were well known, I saw them. I didn't care if I went to spoke to many of them. If I didn't want to, I could see them without saying anything to them. Just speaking to people doesn't amuse me at all. Being in the atmosphere of art, that's what I mean. Of course, we all painted all day, and then we went to these sketch classes at night very often and did sketches from the nude, you see. Most of the best artists went to those because they used to want to keep in practice, you see. And the nude figures, you couldn't always get them except in a big class like that. So that was a very good way of getting practice without any trouble, you see. There isn't much atmosphere in Perth for artists at the present moment, really. only 2 or 3 galleries here, and most of them are not really and truly looking for local artists' work. They're bringing in a lot of foreigners here to show their work, and that sort of, they're not encouraging the artists, Perth or Fremantle or anybody like that, to make any money out of it. No, I didn't want to come because I knew that I'd missed so much hearing French, you see. It got into me, the French head. I'd much rather been over there, but I thought it was quite impossible to stay. I didn't want to come really very much, but I thought it was the best thing to do. I took what was the best thing to do, you see.